I need us to see something real quick, and then we'll talk about it. 1 second.
Guys, and this one looks freshly made. Like, all of this looks freshly made. $15. Do you know what year this one is?
It's not super old, but it is all fabric and paper. If there's anything on the bottom. Looks like it's at 67.
And this one's a matching set with that one. Yeah, they should be together.
Actually, no. These are salt peppers. Yeah, they do.
And that one is just...
Yep. This one's a little older. These are modern.
I like that. I don't know, there was a lot of white people next to me. I got nervous, so I said it was cute. Sorry.
As you could plainly see, a lot of those items were not vintage. A lot of those were modern, as in freshly made, as in made to purposely look like they are from that era. Because the people who made them know there's an audience. There are people who will buy that. And what's interesting is that the people who are selling these items, these antiques, that they want to remind them of a time that they miss and reminisce about, are the same people who will say racism no longer exists. These are the same people who will say, why are you still talking about race? These are the same people who will say, can't you just forget and move on? If you didn't keep talking about slavery, if you didn't keep talking about racism, it would disappear. These are the same people making these things, selling these things, profiting off of these things. I know there are some black people who will go places like this, purposely buy these collectibles so that a white person cannot continue to collect them. Because I know that some people think that these should be preserved as part of history, part of what America did to our people and is still doing. Living in Texas, I've been to many places where I've seen things like this, estate sales, garage sales, even at vintage antique shops. There are things that look exactly like this, many of which you can tell are not vintage. They are not old. They were made new to be sold because people will decorate their homes with these things to remember a greater time in America's history, a simpler time for them. And yet again, we are told constantly to shut up, stop talking about it. If we would just stop talking about it, it would go away. We are not the ones keeping it alive. And until people like this acknowledge that and acknowledge the role they play in it every day and deconstruct their anti-blackness and start looking at the world outside of a white point of view, then we might get somewhere. Then we might be a few steps closer to a world where racism no longer exists. As long as white people are still romanticizing the Holocaust that happened to African Americans here on American soil, racism will forever live. As long as there are white people recreating figurines that resemble vintage ones from the time of slavery and Jim Crow and segregation and all of the things that black people have endured in this country, until that stops, until that no longer exists, there will always be racism. So it seems like the issue of whether or not racism still exists does not fall on us. Yeah. And I'm gonna need non-black people to start speaking up and calling out racism, calling out anti-blackness, calling it out when you see it. Don't just smile, don't just keep your head down because you're uncomfortable, because your discomfort is the beginning to opening the door to ending racism. So let's start there.